Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Prime Championship Circuit main event. My name is Rdawggg with the Triple G's, and I will be your host for today's event. I am ready to watch the greatest players of predecessor on the PCC and see who will take part in our current prize pool for today's event, which is $300. But we also have a very, very special announcement near the end of the stream, so please make sure you stick around for later. Today, I am joined by game analyst, Smite Pro, and game designer Mugiwawa, and YouTuber content creator, offlaner extraordinaire, Joe yours truly. Please go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Well, hello everyone, I'm Mugiwawa. I'm happy to be here, being able to bridge a little bit between the EU and NA scene, because I'm from EU. Currently trying to be like a coach and an analyst on the predecessor scene, and love to always watch like very high level gameplay, so I'm very happy to be here on the desk analyst.
Hey everyone, this is yours truly, and this is my first time doing something like this, so I'm very excited. I'm just a content creator over on YouTube, and I'm kind of known to do some really good quality gameplay videos where I kind of commentate over and explain what I'm doing, so I'm really excited to bring that knowledge to the frontier on this tournament, so I'm very excited to see how this plays out.
Welcome to you both. I am so excited. Are you guys excited?
I'm very excited.
I am so excited. We will be watching Rdawggg and the Professors for best out of 3. I am so stoked to see who will win this series. So first, we will go over the Rdawggg roster. We have Rdawggg, Frankie, Atomic, Natty, and Peak. The only thing that's different for this series, though, is they don't have Atomic. They will have Seismic, who will be subbing for them. Do you guys know anything about Rdawggg at all, Mugi or Joey?
Well, about Rdawggg, that's a team that is coming increasingly stronger as the time is coming. It's been a while since I got the chance to follow the scene, but I kind of expect a lot of good things from there, but they're there against Professors today, and Professor, I have a beef against them that we could talk a little bit about that after. And so like that will be a rough match, I think, for them.
A little bit spicy. He's got beef with them. What about you, Joey? Do you have beef with Rdawggg or?
I don't have
or
any
the
beef with
Professors?
them.
No.
No, I know a little bit about some of the people on this team. I mostly know the professors myself, but I do recognize Atomic and Seismic. I have played games with them and against them, so I definitely know that this is a kind of solid team. It's just going to be really interesting to see how this plays out, because I'm very keen on what the drafts are going to look like today.
Yeah, and now we'll go over the Professors lineup. So we'll just wait for that to kind of show up there on the screen. There we go. We've got Mr. Guru, Rdawggg. We're very familiar with these boys. Soul Reaper, Survivor, and now Crazy Fool. Mugi, you said you had beef. Please explain what you mean by that.
Well, it's more like Professor probably have beef with Rdawggg because they lost in the group stage and in a hard fashion. But to be fair, like I expect a lot of good things from Professors that tournament. Like first, because now they have their main roster. In the group stage, they had to have a sub in the form of Regal that was playing in the offlane, and they had to put Mr. Gru on the support role. And offlane to support is 2 very different roles, so maybe that was one of the reasons they didn't perform as well as they used to be. And but here, like I've seen them also like watch what the recent like scrim they have done during the week. And well, they win against Rogue 2-0, they win against Dirty Lake and the boys 2-1. It's only scrims, but this squad with the main roster looks strong.
Yeah, I agree. And, these players take scrims seriously too, because those are like learning opportunities for them to learn and grow and develop as players. But I'm super excited to see what these guys have to show. We know with the group event, Crazy Fool wasn't there. So this will be a little bit different for these series. What do you think, Joey, about the team?
Yeah, so Crazy Fool has played with Professors in the past. It just looks like in the last time he wasn't available, so now they kind of got the main support back on the wall. So I'm actually very curious about how the dueling it's gonna play out, because I did notice a lot of competitive teams have been slowly taking breaks and not scrimming as much. I think Survivor and Crazy Fool been kind of not playing as much as compared to, like, let's say, the Red Dojo team. So although I think there's some really strong players on Professors, I think Red Dojos have been really grinding the game out. So it's gonna really come down to who is the sharpest tool in the shed when it comes to these matches.
I love that. Who is the sharpest tool in the shed, ladies and gentlemen? So now we have to, make predictions here. It's that time of the day where, before we start watch these games, we have to decide, who do we want to see? Who's gonna win? The Professors, the Red Dojo. I'm gonna put you on the spot, Moogie. Who do you think will win the series?
Well, I will put my money on Professors because I fully agree with what Joey just said, that maybe like at some point, like Professor weren't playing the game as much, but like in the recent week, like I've watched on Meta City, like they actually grind the game and now they have their full roster and they're looking great in Scream. So like I put my money on Professors.
Right. And these boys have been playing, so many games, so many times, and I'm super excited to see what they have to show us. And what about you, Joey?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Professors as well. My only concern is just about if they're sharp enough. I have been practicing the game, but on paper, on even terms, I think Professors have a stronger roster overall. And definitely with Crazy Fool back at it, we're going to be definitely see some spicy stuff going on the dual lane.
As for myself, I completely agree with both of you guys. I think I'm gonna lock in with the Professors as well. I have to give props to Red Dojo for making it, this far, and they're a very strong team. But the Professors, time and time again, we know they've reached the finals in the past, and we're very familiar with their names. I see Soul Reaper, Crazy Fool, Survivor. Mr. Guru streams sometimes, so we have the pleasure of watching them play. So I'm super excited to see what they've got to show. Yeah. Anything else to add, Moogie or Joey?
Like I'm ready to watch like some good predecessor. I've been starved of it for 2 weeks, so I can't wait for it.
Yeah. I can't wait.
Sorry, Joey, continue.
Oh no, I was just agreeing. I'm just very excited to see how this plays. I'm very excited to see the draft, especially because I think we're gonna be seeing some shakeup in the draft today. So I'm very excited to dig into.
Yeah. In terms of the draft, though, do you think there will be? I mean, we know tanks are very strong, and unfortunately, we won't be able to see Greystone today. But any picks, do you think, or bans or picks that we will be seeing for today's event?
I am keeping an eye out for Mogish because in the Robin groups, one team started playing Mogish mid a lot, and it got to the point where teams were banning Mogish. And I just have some word that a lot of teams have been scrimming and practicing Mogish mid. Nothing really changed with Mogish. It's just I think people are starting to realize the potential strength with her, and I think Mogish mid is going to be a very kind of interesting to pick if the teams are confident enough to play her out today.
Yeah, and what about you, Moogie?
To be fair, I'm going blind regarding picks because I've been a little bit off the meta, so anything is excited. I even wonder if like FaZe finally find a place. I don't think I've seen her in the group stage, but yeah, let's see Morigesh, FaZe, like all the characters I haven't seen played, so let's see how it goes.
Yeah, and the little voice in my ear is saying that we have a video from Atomic, so let's go ahead and watch that.
Hello, Atomic. Welcome in.
Hey, what up?
So Atomic, I'm gonna give you this first little like starting spot that I gave to Ranting Gamer as well. Do you want to just take a little bit of a second, introduce yourself, let us get to know you a little bit before we continue?
Sure. Yeah, I'm the mid laner for Red Dojo. I started playing competitive games with Halo 3 back in high school. Kind of ages me a little bit. And then I got into MOBAs first with Dota 2. I pretty much started playing Dota 2 when it first came out, but not competitively, just like very casually. And then I started to take competitive, like go like more competitive with MOBAs around like 2017 when Paragon was popping, and unfortunately the game died. I started playing League and went back to Halo Infinite when it came out. Ranked top 500 in the world in Halo Infinite, but didn't go competitive. Pred came out, and I've just been playing Pred ever since.
Perfect. So I did say during the like preluding of this that back in the Paragon days when you were playing, you did get a little bit of coaching from Crazy Fool. Can you tell me what that was like to, and like what it kind of feels like to now be matched up against him in a competitive event all these years later?
I mean, I don't know if it was like formal coaching, but I did play with him a lot, and I definitely seeked advice from him. He was on Arctic Wolves, one of the top teams. I was on like a B tier team. I was playing ADC at the time. I'm actually very new to mid. I only started playing mid lane, I don't know, probably a couple months ago. But yeah, he was awesome to talk to. Learned a lot from him, and yeah, we have a nice little rivalry going between our two teams.
That's great to hear. So I do know that Red Dojo has been around for a little bit and had quite a few roster changes over its time. What sets this current roster that you guys have apart from the rosters you had in the past and gives you a better chance to advance to our semifinals?
I think what's cool about our team right now is probably the player versatility. So Bartldew, who's our offlaner, he's actually really new to the offlane role. He played a lot of ADC and then was like playing jungle for a while. He could also play mages pretty well. He comes from like Overwatch. He's like really strong Overwatch player. So he can kind of do it all. And right now he's playing off lane, but super versatile and understands a lot of different strengths and weaknesses of the different roles. Branky B as well. He's new to the Paragon genre, but he if you run into him in pubs, he can play ADC, mages, tanks, etc. So super versatile player, and he's also improving kind of like by the day. And then Peak, of course, extremely versatile. Probably the only one that's not so versatile is Natty, but that's fine because he's, in my opinion, one of the best ADCs in the game, and with the right team can probably be the best ADC in the game. So I definitely think it's our versatility.
We got to highlight this. You just said you think Natty can be the best ADC in the game with the right team. Are you guys the right team, Atomic?
I think we can be, but I think our team has gone through some roster changes, and we're still kind of establishing chemistry. I don't think any team is the best that it is at any given time. Every team is constantly improving, and it just depends on, can a team continue to improve and grow and last together. So I mean, you look at like kind of more established teams like Professors who've been playing together for, I don't know, 8 years or whatever, and meaning like they weren't like always the same exact roster, but like they know each other, they've been playing together, mutual respect. So I mean, can that team continue to grow beyond where they are today? Perhaps, but they're probably more at like the tail end of the curve. And then you have like younger teams that are just getting started together that I think have like a real opportunity to grow. And so yeah, I do think as an individual player, I would say like Natty is hands down one of the best ADCs in the game.
I'm a big fan of Natty myself, so I definitely agree with you. Just wanted to take a chance to prop him up there. Joshua, you got anything that you would like to ask Atomic?
Yeah, now that I've made it back after some internet issues, what I would like to say is, Crazy Fool's going to be available for Professors in this next one. Mr. Guru is actually going to move to solo lane. There's no roster changes for Professors. Does that really change like how you're going to play them this time around? Y'all were really successful with them last time. But does it change having Crazy Fool back in that support?
Oh, for sure. I think Survivor, I think especially in duo lane, like if there's anywhere in the game, like across the map that the chemistry really matters, it's definitely in duo lane. And Survivor and Crazy Fool have been playing together forever. So I can imagine, like, despite how good Survivor is, and despite how good Guru is on an individual level, just introducing something so new, like a new variable into the lane, changes everything. So I definitely think their team is going to be, even if like the The overall skill doesn't change too much between like, you know, having Regal there as a sub, etc. I do think their comfort level and their chemistry is what's going to contribute to them just playing better overall. But I still think that, you know, our team, there should really be no lack of performance in comparison to the last game that we played against them, because our team is also just like improving over time as well. So
Atomic,
pretty confident we're gonna give them a good run in the next round.
not to intervene here, but how did that last game that you played against them go for you guys in our group stage? How'd that one go?
I don't even remember, but I think we did. I don't know, we swept that game. I don't remember what the score was.
You won 34-8 in kills. I remember it. Sorry, Atomic. I've gotten it out here several times. I'm going to say it again. I'm a big Red Dojo fan. I believe in you guys really strong, Atomic. I do think that you guys make it through this first round matchup. I think even worse timing may be a tough match for you guys, but say you're able to get through them. What team from the other side of the bracket are you looking forward to playing? Whether it be Rogue, Double Vision, Orca Spot, or Dirty Lake in the boys.
I mean, look, any team that makes it to the finals, and if we're there, it means that they've proven themselves just as well as we have. We thrive on challenges, so facing the team with, you know, the most distinct strategy and style would be exciting for us. It's my guess is probably going to be D-Lab. We've played them a lot in scrims, and we played them, you know, competitively, and I think they're probably the strongest team on the other side. But you know, we'd be excited to play anybody.
Cool. That is great to hear. Crash, you got anything that you would like to ask Atomic before we let him run off for the day too?
No, looking forward to watching it. I think that's probably going to be like what could be a caliber, or like a finals caliber matchup. It's going to be a fun one to watch. Definitely, like we said, the closest of the quarterfinals. So that's going to be a fun one.
Wonderful.
And the first one we're watching, yeah.
Yeah, that will be the first one that we see. Everybody, as you're tuning in at that 11 o'clock Eastern time, tune in right then. See Red Dojo take on Professors. We do want to thank Atomic a lot for sacrificing his solo queue games to come in here and play with us. He is trying to get better, trying to prepare to be ready to take on the juggernaut that is Professors. Took about an hour and a half out of his day, so big round of applause in the chat for Atomic. But at this point, you are free to go, Atomic. I thank you very much for being here. And actually, no. I didn't do what I did with ranting really quick, so I'm sorry for fooling everybody here and tricking you. But Atomic, I want to give you 15, 20 seconds to plug anything that you want to plug, promote your stream, anything that you're doing. So go ahead and take it away, Atomic.
Yeah, I mean, oh my God, there's some construction that just started outside. I can't even hear myself.
Perfect timing.
But yeah, I do stream sometimes. I'm not like very big on content, so go to Crashy's stream and give him a follow.
God dang it. That's so stupid.
Perfect. Thank you so much for coming by, Atomic. We look forward to seeing you next week.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. And, you know, if you're new here, welcome to the PCC. Today, we are watching the main event. But the first series that we'll be watching will be Red Dojo and the Professors. We'll just go ahead and jump right into the draft. All right, Moogie and Joey. Any predictions on, so you mentioned Morgesh, Joey. Are you wanting to see somebody like Soul Reaper or Seismic playing Morgesh?
Yeah, because I feel like the last few tournaments we've been seeing the same standard staple picks. So I'm very excited for Morgesh because I feel like she brings some interesting dynamic, and not in the mid lane, but also in the team fight. It's just the question is, are these teams comfortable enough with running her? Because she's only been a recent pick in the last swapping groups, and some teams have been scrimming and practicing with her, but are they comfortable enough to bring that out is the question for today.
All right, now here we go. We got the first ban, Moogie, Rampage ban by the Professors. What do you make of that?
Well, it seems that Rampage is still king of the jungle even when I was gone. Like, probably like still a very, very strong pick, and they just want to remove it out of the draft. But we see also like Baker being removed immediately, like not willing to have, I guess I would assume, either a Crazy Fool or pick on the Baker probably like the wombo combo that the Decker provide with the Rifties, that they don't want to deal with that, the pressure she brings in lane. So kind of open there, like still tanks are open, and also like, and we have Gideon. Well, not much have changed since I'm gone apparently.
Exactly, yeah.
Still the meta.
But
What
yeah,
do you
like
think,
Gideon,
Joey?
super strong pick.
So I'm very keen because we just got word that they subbed some people out on Rdawggg, and one of those people was North, and he's kind of known for that Sevrock strong offlane pick. So I'm curious if that. I'm pretty sure they're gonna go for the Sevrock because he's just known to be super good on that. But it really just depends on how they want to draft their team against Professors. We do see Bellicon being picked and Mario. So what do you think, Mario? That's it. I actually can't predict that at all.
Well, Muriel can be like a very strong pick, like apply a lot of pressure in lane. Like you kind of lack the CC to be able to create opportunities, but you apply a lot of pressure with the shield, like the poke that you can provide. It's also like very strong to do objectives. Like the passive combined with the shield is actually like very strong to do objective quickly. And in the late game, it's very strong. And maybe in a sense, I know that Crazy Fool also like love to play Muriel, so it's maybe like a way that you remove that from Professor, and also like you stop the combo of like double shield on the Gideon with the Muriel. So
Yeah,
I don't like the pick, but we'll see what they leave for it.
but because they went for that duo, they actually gave up Sevrock, and they're gonna be doing Richter support. So that's a very interesting choice right there because they picked the Bellica and Mario. So I'm assuming that's Bellica mid and Mario support. Bellica is known to do flex into support. So it's just very interesting. They lock in Bellica already when obviously the game's already picked mid, and they can always kind of leave mid open and get some added prior picks in this draft. So this is looking really interesting draft, 100% so far. And you're right about the Milia pick. It's a very strong support pick. I actually consider her to be one of the strongest supports along with Rdawggg, just having those really big shields in the mid to late game and always have that global presence with ultimates. So if they can use the Milia really well in those team fights, they can really come out on top early on. And we do see the Kira and Crunch right there. What are your thoughts, Mugi?
Well, I think like one other thing that Bringing can offer you in your team is that it can transform your bruisers in front lines. And so like Crunch really like makes sense because like one of the weakness of Crunch could be like that sometimes he's not like as tanky as he need in the front line. But still at the same time, like you have a Crunch that is going to fight into a Sevrock that have a Colossal Blow, into a Rictor that can silence you, stop you, replash you. You have a Gideon that can just like go into the air and then you're like in a bad spot. So it's a decent front line with the Muriel in the back line, but I think it won't be that easy to really like utilize it in team fight. But in 1v1, it's still like a killing machine. And when you have the Reversal of Fortune, like you can probably like never box the Crunch in lane if he's in off lane. And maybe you can also like play jungle. We'll see.
Yeah, they have to do Crunch right here just because he's a great flex for both offlane and jungle. And against the Sevrock offlane, one of the best picks to go against him is the Crunch. So they kind of have to pick up the Crunch right here, even though he's running into like the Richter and the Gideon. But I really like the Kira pick they did with that because Mario and Kira works really well together, and because Kira really wants to get in your face and ult, but she can't do that if she doesn't have the ability to survive. So the Mario will really help enable her to really pull up the wombo combos and survive these team fights. And we do see the jungle and Nodbash in the dual lane. So that's going to be against the Kira and Mario by the looks of it. What are your thoughts, Pookie?
Well, on the dual lane, I think it will be a little bit rough because like Muriel, Kira, like that's a lot of poke and Narbash can get out of mana very fast. But like this comp, Gideon, Sevrock, Rictor, Drongo, and Narbash in team fight and around objective, that's super duper scary. Like you have such a strong front line that is healed by Narbash in the middle of the fight with still like the Gideon that can set up stuff and can even get set up by the Colossal Blow. Then you have Skewer into Gag Grenade, double silence. The Crunch will have so hard time to relieve. Like
they went with the Shimby last two. So yeah, on that note, Professor seems like they have a very strong 5v5 kind of team comp. Whereas Emilio will be fine in the 5v5, but look at the Crunch and Shimby. Those two alone cannot tank against the Sevrock, Richter, and Nodbash. So in terms of team fight capabilities, I can always see the Professors winning that draft on that regard.
Yeah, basically like Rdawggg needs to take advantage of the fact that they have the early like dual lane, try to get ahead there. They can also like maybe take advantage of the Crunch if he's in the off lane against the Sevrock to try to get ahead. and then use like the little timing they have with the level 6 of Muriel to try to get ahead. But if they don't, probably like in team fight, they won't be able to really contest Professor, so they really need this early lead. Otherwise, I would assume the game will be doomed for them.
Yeah, they got the Sevvar scaling and the Gideon is really massive in those team fights. So they have to get something going ahead early, or they're just gonna get outscaled in those late game team fights.
Yeah, I really love the wombo combos that you guys were mentioning. Like, you were really loving the draft coming from the professors. So looking back, they've got the Gideon, they've got the Sevrog, we've got the Richter, Drongo, and Narbash on the duo. And then just going back also to Red Dojo, they have Shinbi, Crunch, Kira, Muriel, and Bellica first pick. I was kind of like thinking about it. I was like, is it going to be a Shinbi jungle, but or the Crunch jungle? But you kind of mentioned Mugi or Joey. I think you said that it's a good pick against the Sevrog to have the Crunch.
Mm-hmm.
It's
all right. I know you guys want to watch this game, so I will turn it over to the F6 and the Geronimo Jack.
Yo, we have the in front of our names now.
Dude, we're legit now, man.
So I know with those predictions, you're probably a little upset, but I can guarantee you Lance is in chat rolling in his grave.
Yeah, Lance right now is fuming. He is not having it from any of those. But honestly, I would have to agree with Lance. I think Red Dojo has a chance just looking at the roster and those little changes that they made.
It's a big roster. That is not something to that is not something to really scoff at, right? Like Red Dojo has gone through so many iterations, and now they have some of the best players in the game on their team right now, and some of the best players in the game as their subs. So you can do a lot of different things. Like, professors are good. They're a staple of the community. They've been around predecessor Paragon for like 8-10 years now, but that's not counting out, the people on the other side of the coin at the moment. So it's just interesting to see how this is going to go. And we are seeing the teams kind of group up and look for that early game ward and that early game possibly invade. Pete coming out to be the first one to see it. He runs right into the Muriel, and that is going to be first. No, the blink is going out. They follow it up, and it actually will be Rdawggg with the first blood on to Muriel to start the game off. 30 seconds in, we're already getting kills out.
Yeah, so we just saw the professors do their standard start there. They run 5-man deep into the opponent's red and try and get a pick and try and drop a ward, and they did that successfully there. So good job on them.
Yeah, and we are going to be seeing just the teams start getting out right now. If we can get a tab screen, just see the first buys, because there was a nice little pickup on that one. Rdawggg is going to stick with the gem, and nothing too abnormal as far as these first item builds or like the starter items we're getting out of here. So that's nice to see. We do see Soul Reaper actually with the second amp tome. Do you think that might help the lane it out? Oh, there they going again, just completely bullying Peak right out of the fight.
Yeah, so they should have the advantage over there on Red Dojo, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like Crazy Fool Survivor doing their thing. But during the mid lane, having that extra codex is going to give Gideon a lot of extra damage, especially early on. So that's definitely going to give him just a little bit more push, have him be able to clear a little bit faster than the Bellica, and have him be able to roam. So we got to watch out for him, for his early roams and his early ganks to pressurize the map.
Yeah, and we're just going to kind of witness this go on. The nice thing about Crazy Fool on the Narbash is a lot of people, we talk about this pretty much every event, is a lot of people kind of, really poo-poo on Narbash and say he doesn't really do anything, but no one really notices how strong auras actually are. And they don't feel strong because they're happening passively in the background, so you don't know how much they affect things. But when Narbash gets in the fight and he's able to just keep your carry sustained, him and himself, like he can take those trades, and it might not be much, but it does make a difference. Like, Muriel's only going to be able to do so much. Health is more valuable than shielding. Simple as that, right?
Because that shield is going to go away while Narbash is still healing you up. And I know if you've had any of your games where you've just been chasing down this ADC and you're just like, you are 1 health for the last 10 minutes. How are you not dead yet? So you're definitely correct on that one. Narbash is definitely a sleeper pick, as always. And Crazy Fool's always there to tell people, hey, he is not in the background as you think he is. He's a top tier support.
He's going to be utilized, definitely. We are seeing Soul Reaper and Seismic square each other up right now, just trying to get the minions out. River buffs are spawning. We're getting a orange buff on the left side, which is going to go to Soul Reaper, and not too sure what Seismic's going to be picking up, but we may see an invade from Rdawggg as he's going in onto Peak. Soul Reaper following up on that one, and that's going to be a kill in favor of Professors once again. We're now 2-0. Only 3 minutes in the game. Rdawggg just absolutely commanding this map right now. I'm not too sure what's going to be able to happen if Red Dojo's going to have to react to that so quickly.
Yeah, so as you can see there, I mean, one, Muriel shouldn't have been there. Just wrong place, wrong time. But great job on Rdawggg being able to invade, being able just to see the opportunities, and Gideon rotating just as well, as seeing that happen. So right now, Professors are looking like they're on top of their game, and they are definitely here to teach Red Dojo a little thing or two.
Looking at the moment, we are going to see hopefully maybe a back here or there soon. In the mid lane, I believe... No, we're going to have another gank in the duo lane as they're just going to drop the gag grenade, and it's Peak going down once again. That's 0-3 for Peak now at 4 minutes into the game. You want to see what cyberbullying looks like? This is...
They are not letting this man just never... Rdawggg comes out of the woodworks again. They choked him out with the gag grenade, and they just totally unloaded everything on top of him. I don't think Peak's having a good day today, Jack.
No, I mean, I don't think he has a choice. This man spawned, run down the lane, had 4 seconds to maybe blink, and then is dead on the gray screen again. You can't really blame him. Sure, he could be out of position here and there, but no one is expecting that to happen to them in a game. Why would you do that? Maybe they're targeting him so they can kind of maybe tilt his mental a little bit and then hopefully build off that, because these games are still about mental. You can win through just bullying someone, like we're seeing in the offlane right now with Rdawggg once again, another gank as Guru follows him. Soul Reaper following up. Bartley with next to no health trying to get away. It might not be enough as the slow from Gideon's passive is going to connect, and there it is. The rock drops. Another kill for Professors, I believe. Can we get a scoreboard? And it's going to be 4-0. Soul Reaper should have the majority. Soul Reaper 2-0, 1-0 for Survivor, and Rdawggg now 1-0-3. This is getting quite spicy.
You can see how much pressure this man Rdawggg is putting throughout the map. You can see that his CS is not as high. He's not clearing as much in the jungle, but the presence he just brings to the map when he just rotates these lanes, I think he's 100% on either getting a kill or an assist everywhere he's been so far.
I think he's been hanging out with Legionnaire in the background a little bit, because this man has not missed a hook yet. He's getting those secret strats from somewhere, dude, but he's doing great.
We're gonna have to
props
check
to
it.
him.
We have to review the tapes to see how he's hitting all these hooks, because I know for a fact it's not possible.
Yeah, I mean, he's making it possible, as now we finally have a gank from North who's coming through, and he's going to get the first blood for Red Dojo. It's going to be Crazy Fool going down. Crunch, I believe, the one to pick it up, but that's got to finally put Red Dojo on the scoreboard, as they're now looking at Survivor, who is now visible to North, and that's going to be North backing, getting his first item.
Yeah, that was a great gank by North, able to get something out of that there. Looks like Survivor's putting a little bit of pressure on Peak there, telling him to kind of back up a little bit, but it's more like getting a lollipop when you go to the dentist kind of thing right there when they got that kill. So they have to do a lot more to really get themselves back in this game.
Yeah, it's going to take quite a while. And there's another kill non-stop. Oh my lord, Rdawggg now level 6. I don't even know if he's been farming. He's been farming champions for sure. Yeah. But
he's 100% been farming heroes, and he's getting ready to farm another one here, going towards the green buff. Can he succeed for another one?
He's not going to be grabbing the green buff. He's going to be walking straight up to it, getting hit by Rdawggg Skewer, and Guru and Rdawggg going to be picking that one up again. He literally just went mid lane to right lane, picked up the kill in both of them, and now it's just, I don't know where Red Dojo's gonna be able to pick it up, because they have the skill to, but this is just non-stop assault.
Honestly, somebody should be calling 911, because these guys are just getting assaulted, bruised, battered left and right and they need some help here. So hopefully they can find a new strat, kind of get it out there. Looks like they're putting a little bit more pressure once again on the dual lane, be able to pick up the Gnarbash on the duo side. Survivor is still able to get out, so that's okay. Gnarbash going down twice is not too bad for the professors there.
At this point, they're just looking for something, right? They need something to answer to all this just absolute like clown fiesta that's been happening for the past 8 minutes. I believe that professors or Seismic and his team will be looking for a gank in the mid lane. I thought they were going to go for the Raptor, but not the case just yet. They are fighting in the river by the river buff. It's Peak just barely living. However, now we're going to have Soul Reaper going down, giving Rdawggg the advantage for maybe an objective, but getting that little bit of pressure off on the map to do something. I'm not too sure what that might be just yet. You have any ideas?
It looks like Shimi's able to invade. Or no, never mind. The map was flipped. That's on me. But no, I don't think they could really do anything with that. What that's going to do though is give Natty a little bit of extra gold, a little bit of something to get from the store, buy himself a Gucci belt or something to get back into this fight, to kind of be a little bit more of a presence whenever they go for the next fight.
There's actually another fight breaking out right now in the right lane. Shimby did just go down, and we are going to see Mr. Guru at very low health trying to walk away. Peek and a blink right in and try and secure the kill with the last little bit of damage that Muriel is trying to get off. He might not be able to get it, and it will actually go down. That's going to be a kill, I believe, for Peek. And now the score should be somewhere around, I believe, 6-4, 8-4. I was close. I almost got it. The minion score is only 10 away. So aside from the assists and the kills, somehow Rdawggg is able to keep the pressure or keep up with all this pressure in farm, which is actually quite respectable.
Right. So they didn't let that impede onto their. Oh, is that another fight that we're seeing over there?
It could honestly, it could be. The Fang Tooth just went down in favor of the professors, which I'm quite surprised by because Rdawggg did have an opportunity to get it there. They were bunched up in the right place. The Thunk is going to go out as Peak walks in. He's now level 6. Crazy's Fool still level 5. So I believe we are seeing the pressure added on to the support of professors by Rdawggg actually paying off a little bit. Now Crazy Fool finally getting his crash bang boom. Going to throw out the Thunk. That's going to be a miss, and Peak's going to respond as well. They are now burning the health bar of that Gnarbash very, very effectively, who's trying to just heal it back up. And that'll be a nice little trade. It's about inches right now, and we are seeing Crazy Fool go up. He's going to miss the Thunk. However, the crash bang boom is going to go out as Soul Reaper follows up. He's going to look for the black hole as Survivor is going for the pick onto Peak, and he's going to zone him out with the black hole. Natty has nothing to do, cannot help his teammate out. He's just going to have to accept it. And now the professors, once again, still in the driver's seat, having that pressure added. Natty walking up for no particular reason. He's going to have to burn his own ultimate to try and get in as North following up a little late. He's going to Survivor, who blinks away. Seismic's going to miss the knockup from the Bellica. And that's going to be, I believe, 2 blinks down in favor of Rdawggg. They were able to follow up. It was a little late. However, they are starting to answer all this pressure and starting to play the game of their own, as we are now seeing more prime in favor of professors.
They are indeed coming back a little by little. Like you said, it's the game of inches, and they're slowly starting to put that pressure back onto professors. But professors are holding their own and still keeping that lead and trying not to force anything that's too bad. But like I said, Richter coming out with the skewer here, trying to get something out.
It's not going to be enough as Crunch will run in and get himself killed. However, the rock from Soul Reaper is going to chunk half the health bar of Peak as now Mr. Guru walks in, knocks him back into his team, and Peak barely able to just stay alive. I think Crazy Fool's the one to get the pickup on that one, as now the professors is going to go on to the Orb Prime and grab that mini buff. Rdawggg able to get a little bit of an answer vision, and they're trying to do something about it. However, North just dashing straight into the enemy team was not the play at that time, and they paid the price. With North being the only real front line on the team, you have Muriel there to help him out, right? But North needs to live, and I don't think this is the game for Crunch for that kind of environment.
Yeah, you have the silence from Rdawggg with the Richter. You have the silence from Survivor and Drongo. You have Narbash, the big old thunk, and the passive healing. So it's not really the best game for him. So there's a lot of counters to crunch there. And Muriel has cooldowns on her shield to really keep everybody alive. And she can't do that for everybody, while Narbash can just be in the middle of the fight and just healing away. So they definitely do have the advantage on Professors here, team-wise.
It is just an unfortunate situation to be in. We actually saw it, I believe, last event or the event before with Team Immune. One of them picked Crunch in the jungle, and there was nothing they can do. We are seeing a gank come through as Rdawggg and Crazy Fool just running straight in. The Thunk does land. Survivor adding that gas grenade, a little bit of damage. They're going to do what they can. It is going to be a pickup as Natty goes down. They're now focusing the Mural as they to completely absorb the tower aggro. Pete going to be able to drop down a shield and get a little bit of movement speed as he's going to walk away. However, still yet another kill in favor of Professors as Rdawggg and Crazy Fool now running into the jungle to starve out North from being able to do anything. And they're going to just bad manner him too, leaving the last minion up, rotating into the backline as the turret has gone down. It's going to be Pete dropping to, I believe, Soul Reaper. Getting that nice rock down on top of his head, squishing him like the bug that he is.
Man, these guys are just roaming and doming everybody they see. They do not care. Their teamwork right now is just impeccable, and you can see how well they've been practicing. All the scrims have been paying off, and you can see the difference that Crazy Fool brings to this team when he's there.
It was a massive difference because, like we saw in the group stages a couple weeks ago, it was the same matchup against these two, and Crazy Fool was unfortunately not there. They had a sub and they had a few rotations on their roles, as the desk analysts were saying earlier, and that made a very big difference. Rdawggg was able to clean up the games. They were able to do their job, and they were able to play very effectively. However, now with Crazy Fool in the driver's seat, I believe he's the main shot caller for the team. It's just a different story. Like, we are seeing all gas, no brake. Someone just cut the brake lines because this is just going downhill at like a rocket.
Yeah, he's definitely the main shot caller for them, and his game sense is out of this world. Rdawggg with the miss hook there, unfortunate. It looks like they're coming in for a mid fight here. Let's see what
they are posturing to try and take Crazy Fool out. It's going to be Rdawggg going in to engage for his team. The black hole will go on to 3, but it won't be enough. Skewer coming out from Rdawggg as the team will follow up and engage. Not much else going on. Not much else I can see. I'm getting a frame rate issue like crazy, but Guru is going to walk onto North. Maybe he will be able to siphon him, and that's going to be the mini prime buff if he wins that fight. But North's staying alive very, very effectively. He's just going to knock him back and let him go. He's got other things to worry about as the team looking through peak. That was such a good engagement in favor of Professors, and they weren't able to actually pick everything up right away. They were able to get Natty, and now just the Bellica. But, you know, from as big of an engage that was, Rdawggg actually managed to live for quite some time.
Yeah, they actually somehow survived all of that damage, but they were able to get some picks there on the Professors to be able to get this Fang Tooth and go on to their second Fang Tooth to give them that increased movement speed around the map. So you're going to see these guys be roaming and doming again once more once they come back off this back.
That seems to be the case for sure. We are going to see the tower, I believe, go down. No, that's going to be Survivor and Crazy Fool defending their own tower, try and keep it up a little longer. But it is very, very healthy. The only real chance of tower objectives we are seeing right now for Rdawggg is the mid lane, because Soul Reaper's just been roaming as much as he has been.
Yeah, he's just been roaming, and like I said early in the game, once he's able to just clear wave and roam, Gideon is probably one of the best to just kind of get around the map and kind of do whatever he wants, because he's able to just use his E and just be halfway across the map into the next lane before they could even call him missing, right? So him having that E just ready to go, all that goes on cooldown, it's a 14-second, especially mid-game, and they're looking to go on Guru here, but they're unable to succeed. He's just going to go back into his tower, kind of just play a little bit passive while his team rotates towards him.
They are looking to grab the objective on the tower, and Guru now caught out in a 3v1. He's trying to get away as he dashes, but Shinbi has the mark. Rdawggg following up the last possible second and turning the fight around, getting North as Crazy Fool and Survivor are there to join. What was a 1v3 is now just an unfortunate circumstance, turning it around completely, taking out both the offlaner and the jungler. They're now chasing down Seismic with Narbash and Rdawggg right up the Bellica, just completely doing what they can. And we're seeing the strength of Narbash here, right? This isn't joking. I'm witnessing this.
This is mid-game Narbash coming in. He's got his couple items. His mana regen is there. His healing is up. And now he's just being a menace. All he has to do is press E one time once he gets out of base. And he just lets it ride the entire time while he's out there. And his team just gets to just get free poke, regen back up, be able to trade a lot better into these fights.
I believe we have 4 seconds to look at items build before another whole 2 team fights break out. So if we can get that, that'd be great. Looking at it now, we are seeing Rdawggg with a dot build. He's running Razorback, Fire Blossom, and Tainted Guard. That's pretty effective. Vanquisher on Survivor is a little interesting because there is a current bug on that where the execution isn't working half the time. Do you see anything coming out of anything noteworthy or anything right or wrong or corrections of build that you might witness or want to see?
Right now you can see Guru building the just straight anti-magic build right now, and he's able to do damage with this, right? He has increased healing from the Void Helm since they changed that. Then he has Crystalline where he's able to get the movement speed and stack up his magic resist. So he just be able to just run at them. And with that Sapphire's Mantle, once he pops that and he's able to do some true damage against these just very low health heroes, he's able to also increase his health while just keep running at them the entire time. So that's great for him with 300 extra health, and he's just being a big monster as Guru.
We are seeing another engagement breakout as North diving in, going right into Survivor with follow-up with their Versatile Fortune. However, Soul Reaper going to counter-engage with the Black Hole. They're jumping onto Crazy Fool. They notice it's the Narbash that is causing the issues. As now we are seeing Soul Reaper being targeted by North, and Rdawggg might go down here. Finally, it's going to be a winning team fight in favor of Rdawggg. That's going to be 3-0 in favor of North and his team.
Yeah, you can see the main difference in that team fight there, right? They were able to catch the professors out one by one, and they were able to just burn each target individually without having to just be on the back end and getting counter ganked. So they were able to take the advantage there and push that fight. So good job on Rdawggg. Hopefully they can use this to maybe start putting themselves in the lead. Hopefully be able to get a little bit more pressure around the map and get themselves on this Orb Prime buff whenever it spawns.
It definitely is the case. We are seeing Natty and Peak going in now. They're looking to grab their gold, get Natty back up to do what he can. Rdawggg does have a pretty effective team fight in their own regards. However, just as we're seeing, the CC is just really shining through, and it's really up to the Muriel to keep that team alive. So I'm not too sure how Peak is handling that. Maybe, there's a lot of pressure on him right now in this game.
Yeah, there is a lot of pressure on him, but I think he's going to be able to pull through, especially a little bit later right now because he's getting into that mid game to get a bigger chunk from his items and should be able to push these fights with his
See if we can get some builds off again, if there's been any item changes since the last buy. The score now 18-9 with 30 assists on the professors. And we are seeing North with Absolution. He's going no frontline build whatsoever coming out of the crunch, surprisingly.
I mean, Absolution gives him a little bit of defense on Magical. Looks like they're taking the third Fang Teeth once again here. So hopefully they're able to get this objective for Rdawggg. And it looks like they're coming. They might be a little bit too late here. And if they get the third one, Professors are going to be looking like they're going to be in the top position. And they were able to get it. And it breaks out into a big fight here. Big crash, bang, boom coming out. Crazy Fool there, being able to pop them up. Muriel comes in with a big ult. She's gonna be able to use her E-pop. Crazy Fool look like he's about to go down, and he does go down. Peaks on the backside, getting hit by Guru, and Guru is just going after him. What a big shield from the E there, but it looks like he's gonna be able to get her eventually just by running her down. And right now, it looks like favor for our Professors 4-3.
That's going to be Rdawggg picking up the last kill with Guru. Blink coming out from Seismic. They're going to follow it up with their own. You cannot escape the Sevarog. If he wants you, he's going to get you. Waiting for the subject to go through. It will miss. And they're now just doing a little dance. I would like to see, just Guru go for it and send Seismic a real message. I'm going to tank that tower. I'm going to take you out. It doesn't matter. But, they're playing to win here. They're playing a little smarter. They have everything they need. No reason to get goofy.
Yeah, they're in a pretty big lead right now, especially with a 3-0 on the Fang Teeth. So right now, Professors, they don't really need to do much like you said before. They just need to kind of just play back, look for another opportunity to get to this Orb Prime, farm up a little bit, get maybe another half item or a full item, round these builds out and be able to push their advantage a little bit more since they have now extra damage, a little bit more armor to get to these fights to win them.
Yeah, so I want to go back and talk about the build that Norp has right now. Like, I'm surprised he's the only frontline on the team, and Muriel is keeping him alive, but he needs something. And we saw it in that last fight. He dove into the pit and just got erased. Absolution, sure, you're getting 20% damage mitigation, but the only thing that's giving you health is the Mutilator. He's finally building a health item now, but he needs to just be that front line that his team needs, and he needs to absorb that CC and that damage, right? Like, I think Unbroken Will with Raiment alongside the Mutilator, I think maybe, you know, another armor item instead might be more beneficial.
Yep, and a Void Helm would actually help him out as well to round out his build, just to get a little bit more increased healing since he's going with a little bit more lifesteal, just to help him out, be in those fights, sustain, have a little bit more magic resistance since his team is primarily magical damage. So he should be looking to be on that side of the build, trying to get that to be a little bit more tanky, be in there a little bit less and longer, because only Rdawggg was able to really get through him, and his Rdawggg was in the back line, and if maybe Natty could get on top of Survivor, maybe push him out a little bit, he should be able to be a little bit more of a menace.
I believe we're going to be looking at an Orb Prime setup here as Rdawggg survive. No, it might just be the play itself. They are on vision, and they're just going to go straight onto the objective. Bartledew in the right lane, just trying to get whatever wave he can. They do know they're there, so they're now kind of set up a counter engage. Soul Reaper trying to walk away, apply a little bit of pressure. They're deciding whether or not they want to stay or back. They're hesitating. The pull comes through. It's going to be onto North, forcing the Muriel's reversal of fortune. However, the Black Hole will get a nice little kill onto the ADC. Natty now going down, followed by Peak. Soul Reaper just absolutely demanding respect in this game. North in the wrong spot, but he's able to just walk away. He's going to follow through, and he's jumping straight onto Soul Reaper to try and pick up anything. The rock goes down, and the passive is going to slow him out. It's not going to be enough. Cleaned up by the auto attack from Gideon, and now that's going to be a full team wipe in favor of the Professors. Gets a nice ace in there with an Orb Prime as the cherry on top. They didn't need to worry about backing because Narbash's healing is just keeping everyone sustained through the damage that Orb Prime is doing, which did receive a small nerf recently.
Small nerf, you say, but this man is still out here just putting E, holding it down, and his team is just actually gaining health while fighting the Orb Prime, which is ridiculous. That was a great team fight. That big black hole was able to just put a lot of damage out to get everybody down in that threshold to get them the advantage in that fight.
Yeah, and just like, I thought that Rdawggg had the opportunity there with the hesitation that the Professors were showing. They weren't too sure. Clearly, just the way they were posturing, they were walking around. It didn't look like they were too sure if they wanted to stick on the objective, they want to turn around and fight, stick on the objective. They sat there. Did they want to back off completely? And then the hook landed, and that just sealed the deal, made the decision for them, and they just went from there.
Right. I don't think it was anything of like they didn't know what they wanted to do. I think they were waiting for an opportunity. You see that a lot with a lot of the higher competitive play. They don't necessarily fully commit to something right away. Looks like there's another Prime thing fight coming out here. Looks like they're posturing for it. But big knock up from Seismic here. They should be able to get onto Survivor, but they kind of just back out. Unfortunate there, but they're coming back in, able to regen.
That is going to be Rdawggg missing the hook. However, a big follow-up on the team fight. Crash Bang Boom coming through on Crazy Fool, along with the Black Hole through Soul Reaper. That's going to be 3 dead already as the rest of the team just happy circles the ADC. And now they don't even need to worry about the Orb Prime just yet. They can just run it down the lane, take that inhib, and possibly even win the game. Such a massive play coming out of the Professors right there.
Dude, they said, no, sir, you cannot just put free damage on my ADC. Survivor is just untouchable, and they came in with a vengeance and said, here, we are here to clean it up. We're about to end this game because we can. What a great big black hole and Crash Bang Boom from the Professors.
Absolutely gaping. Like, it was massive, gaping black hole in favor of the Professors. So now just doing the smart thing. They don't need to worry about that Primal Fangtooth. just run down the team, run down the objective, and get the win. That's going to be the first game in the series in favor of the Professors.
What a game. That is probably a textbook game from the Professors. They played well from the get-go. They put pressure around the map from the very beginning, and they did not allow Rdawggg to get to that mid game before they were ready.
Now, that's going to they set a precedence for how the game is actually going. Game 2, what do you think? Well, now, the desk is going to touch up on this too, but we have a little bit of time here. What do you think that Rdawggg is going to need to do to change up in Game 2, aside from probably draft?
Besides draft, I think whatever they draft, they need to play to that strength. So they had more of a single target team comp to where they need to get picks, and they didn't really necessarily play through that. They had the Muriel. They should have used the Muriel a little bit more passive, especially after the first kill. They should have been like, okay, we kind of just need to play this a little bit slower. We already gave them first blood. We already got a couple blinks off from our team. They needed to start to be like, hey, we just need to get these small picks in these fights. We don't need to rush anything. A little bit more ward placements. I think their ward placement was not on point for that match,
Right.
unless they would have seen a lot of these Rdawgg coming out. So playing towards their actual comp strength instead of just playing a regular casual pub game like they're normally playing, and understand that, like, hey, we need to take it slow. It's okay. This is not like we need to rush anything, and just play towards your strength.
I wouldn't even know if the ward placements made a difference, because the way Rdawggg was playing, he played like as if there was no wards. He didn't care if there was wards. He's just like, I want this, just like point A to point B, tunnel vision mentality, and it just worked out. That level of aggression sometimes doesn't matter if you have vision of the entire map. He's just gonna do it anyways, and he's gonna get it. But we're going to go back to the desk in just a second. Before we do, guys, make sure you check out the YouTube. Make sure you hit a follow. Donations are very big this time around. Anything is going to go straight back into production, which gives back to the community. If you have a Prime sub, please hand it over, help us out, and we'll make sure we can do everything we can for the community, because that's what it's all about. Take it away to the desk.
Sorry, welcome back, everybody. I am back with Joey and Moogie. What a game won by Rdawggg and the Professors. There's so many things to talk about, but you know what? I'm gonna let Moogie and Joey take over. Please tell me what were the highlights and what stood out to you the most about that game?
Yeah, that was it. That was a very spicy first game, and I love how the Professors played that early game, because the Victor jungle is a very good early game jungle. He kind of falls off in the late game, so you have to make stuff happen for the early game, especially for your kind of scaling team. You got the Rdawggg, you got the Gnarbash, you got the Gideon. So the fact that he got his team ahead early, even though they technically do better as the game goes on, was huge for Professors this game.
Yeah, Cody was everywhere in that early game, and like Professor are looking very, very strong. Like, I really like two things they've done in that game, like in the early stage, is first, like, they abused the enemy dual lane, because okay, Muriel and Kira is a super strong dual lane, but they have absolutely like no CC. So what did they do? They just woke up, we see that Crazy Fool land the funk, and then it's replash into silence, into gag grenade, into you're dead. And they were like perfect chain CC, so it was like very nice wombo combo, perfectly executing, abusing the right part of the map, and that just like kind of snowballed the lead afterwards into like this early objective that Professor managed to take.
Yeah, and we saw Rdawgg's presence all over this map was unmatched, especially with his level of aggression. He was able to create those plays for the Professors, but you know, I'm going to go back to what Jack and F6 was talking about. What needs to change for Rdawggg for them to win this match? I'm going to start with you, Joey.
I think what they need to do is they need to change up the draft a little bit, because I really think Professors won that through just draft alone. The only advantage that Rdawggg had that game is supposed to be that early game, but they totally dropped the ball because the Rdawggg Victor jungle coming in really strong. So they have to try to come up with a different game plan, because obviously they can't play that early game as well as they hope. So they need to try to be a little bit more flexible with the picks going on to the next draft.
Yeah, especially with that level 1 gank. What about you, Moogie? What needs to change for Rdawggg for them to win this next match?
So yeah, I think the draft was like a very big part of it. Like once again, super wombo combo. Professor loves this type of draft, so like you just like let them have what they want to have, which is always obviously an issue against such a strong team. And also like you're playing with Crunch and Chinby against like double silence and so many setups to just tuck you in place. It's not gonna go well. But still, like we see that Natty, like on the Kira, like still managing to do works despite the fact that they were like super far behind. And so like maybe that can start from there, but definitely like try to disrupt a little bit like the wombo combo of professors and not put yourself in such a hard comp to play.
Yeah, and F6 kind of talked about how they had that single target graft, and maybe they needed to play a little bit slower, a little bit more passive, especially with their team comp. But I'm really looking forward to see this next game. Any other last remarks, Joey?
Nothing too much. I think I'm very interested to see the next draft because Red Dojo has to come up with something in the next draft, or this is going to be the same mistake that's going to be playing into the next game.
And what about you, Moogie?
I have one little last things to say. I think that professors got their revenge because like in the group stage, it was Red Dojo that was 5-0 at 7 minutes in with 5 kill on Natty, and this game it was Professor that was 5-0 at 7 minutes in. So like they said, like we're ready for business.
All right. And you know what? Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Like what Jack had mentioned, please make sure you subscribe, use your Prime sub. If you like what you see, you love what we do, follow us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube, and follow us on Twitch. And now we're going to go ahead and go to a break.